Hi, just following on from an earlier segment that we had, I've been asked about how can an employee inadvertently cause damage to your brand on social media. There's actually a lot of ways that employee actions using social media can not only damage their own personal reputation, but can damage the brand reputation of the organization that they're working for. The most simple one comes from when employees or individuals have strong and controversial opinions about things that happen in society in general. Sometimes these opinions offend people, and what it is, it's not the fact that the person made these opinions. Keyboard warriors now have this tendency to search for the organizations that they work for. Be honest, most of us have our employer somehow listed in our social media profiles, and people will track back to that and then start pressuring the company or the brand, the employer, because of the action of the individual. Secondly, what can happen sometimes too is, especially with younger staff, they make negative postings about their employer, about their boss, about their colleagues. I remember one that happened to a staff member of a friend of mine. 3 o'clock she had posted on 3 o'clock she had posted on Twitter, "It's only 3 o'clock, 3 more hours to go, yawn." But what she didn't realize is she'd already added her boss onto Twitter, and her boss already saw this. You can take it two ways. One way is an ungrateful staff member or a difficult staff member who's like, stupid comment. But the other is it can also say something that, hey, maybe this person or this brand is not the most exciting brand to work for as well. Another thing that employees can do that can be damaging towards the brand is accidentally or otherwise posting confidential information. You know, we take snapshot shots around the office. We take photos of projects that we're working on. We may be standing in front of something when a photograph happens, but something in that photograph may actually be confidential. It may be a letter that's being written on the laptop. It may be a design that we see in the background that people can see. Remember in the early days of Trump, he had that little note that had 3 things he had to do when talking to the little boy, and the third one was be nice, smile at him, or something like that. It's just as damaging as that. What moves on from that, though, is posting perhaps of internal company events or gatherings or meetings, segments of it or opinions of it. For example, we might photograph ourselves at a potential client. I go to pitch for a client, I stand outside the office, snap, take a photo. Suddenly my competitors who are able to view me through some of the business social networking platforms can see who I'm pitching for. It's a great way to learn a little bit of intel, but it also means that something that your company or your boss may have wanted to have kept secret may now be out of the bag. Also, let's think about the concept of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I think last year or maybe the year before, there was a scenario for Maxis where a very angry, probably highly pressured boss was seen screaming on video at 2 of her employees or 2 of her subordinates, one a pregnant woman. This short video segment showcased a very, very angry lady, but it showcased absolutely no context. It caused problems for the people involved. It caused problems for the brand itself, yet still we have no context to it. So that's a way that, you know, what you post online can actually affect. We also have the scenario with dark social, and WhatsApp and the equivalent packages are very much like this, because at least when we look at social media, there's a chance to see it and there's a chance to address it. But when we have dark social, which is platforms like WhatsApp and Line, where information is flowing, but chances are the organization or people other than the few that are connected to it get to see it, it's very difficult for anybody to be able to address it. Also, we have a situation where we might accidentally share work in progress. You know, we get excited about some of the projects that we do and we start updating, we're doing this, we're working on this, we're working on this. But you've also got to remember that sometimes some of this information should be kept confidential. So this is something that employees in particular have to think about. And the final one I can think of in order to answer this question is actually just general venting. You know, I hate work today. Yep. Probably 30% of us do, no issue. But the more we vent about it, it still comes back to how people are going to perceive it. Do they perceive it as Craig hates work today? Or do they perceive it as the company Craig's working at seems to be a really stressful environment? In this day and age of employer branding, where we're trying so hard to have every company look like the greatest place on earth to work, when employees start venting about it, it actually negates some of the efforts that businesses are making throughout the process anyway. I hope that answers the question.